again, I'm so sorry for that. My internet is terrible. So this is unfortunately going to have to be a two-part episode, I suppose. This part's obviously not going to be very long because it's going to be the end of the second episode. I'm sorry for my internet glitching out. Excuse me. As I was saying, the reason it blew up so greatly because the '90s was an era where a lot of kids wanted to rebel due to their parents and grandparents really kind of normalized it for them because they also rebelled very very heavily too. Woodstock and hair bands and shit like that. That was very very rebellious and very crazy around that era for that generation. Um, so the reason new metal blew up was because they hear this music and it's heavy and it has rap and it has techno and EDM elements into it, and people are like, "Fuck yeah!" So rap fans liked it, EDM and techno fans liked it, metal fans liked it. It blew up on such a great level, and it was such a rare find when you did find a really good new metal album, especially the bands that didn't really get a lot of love, like Cold Chamber, Static X, and bands like Edema and shit like that. Like I said, they had their heyday, but they're not. They don't get talked about as much anymore, unless you're a new metal junkie like myself, or Flaw is a great new metal band. If you've never heard of Flaw, there's so many out there. Go look up the underground scene of new metal in the late '90s to early 2000s. It was fucking awesome. And another reason why new metal blew up is the early 2000s was a time where pop culture was just on a different level. You didn't have social media. So you see something like a Slipknot music video or a Korn music video, and you're like, I want to fucking see and hear that again. I want to see it so bad again. So you have people calling in to radio stations saying, I want to hear that song, and into TV stations saying, I want to hear that song, and they're exposing these bands more and more because people are saying, I want to hear it, I want to hear it, I want to hear it. And that's why eventually the new metal concerts and festivals started getting so big because music used to be such a rare thing and such a special thing, and still is, but it used to be so much more meaningful and a lot more difficult to really get your hands on your favorite songs and favorite albums because maybe you didn't have the money, maybe your parents didn't want you listening to that kind of music, so on and so forth. And if you were a teenager in the '90s or early 2000s, you didn't have a phone or an MP3 player, and then you were kind of fucked. Or a fucking record player, then you were fucked if you weren't allowed to listen to the music that you wanted to listen to. So, thank God for Spotify and the internet in those regards. But like I said, it kind of took away the really kind of special, rare element to finding your favorite music and your favorite songs. So, those are my reasons why I think it blew up. And, and it really defined a fashion culture and a fashion era, which I still, I still do dress similar to that because that's my favorite era. That's my favorite. It's the era I grew up in, so it's very normal to still resonate with your roots, and that's definitely me. So the era of fashion, and then with baggy jeans and a lot of jewelry and tattoos, piercings. Everyone had a ball chain necklace and an eyebrow piercing, and those star tattoos. You guys know what I'm talking about. I don't know what they're called, the specific ones, but you know what those star tattoos where it's like half white and black, and the people had them on their elbows and their necks and shit. Maybe comment if you guys have one of those stars. That shows that you're a true new metal OG. If you have one of those star tattoos. Now we're gonna get into why it died. As anything goes, out with the new, or out with the old, in with the new. Sorry. Eventually, people get sick of it. As people do with anything, and a lot of bands like Limp Bizkit and Static X. Some of the members got exposed for just being douchebags, and some people take that personally. If they don't agree with a celebrity's personal opinions, they let it reflect on the musical aspect, I guess. And they no longer want to support the band. So, and a lot of people started finding Limp Bizkit, like cringy. Same with Korn, and started labeling it as cringe music, as a lot of people did with Nickelback and Creed for a long time. Until obviously recently, which we're gonna get into that soon. But and a lot of the reason why it died too was the mid to late 2000s was a really big time where the emo and scene culture kind of blew up, and I kind of was contributed to that because that was around the era that I was a teenager, and that was Black Veil Brides era, Falling in Reverse when they weren't fucking shitty, Motionless in White when they were new, and they're still a great band. Go listen to Motionless in White. They're still making great music. I actually have a signed picture from them. I'll show you guys sometime. But yeah, and new music comes and new trends come, and the golden age of new metal, I'd say, was between 1997 and 2002, and that was maybe 2003 as well, a little bit of 2004. But 2005, 6, 7 was around the time where the pop punk and emo and shit like that started really taking over the mainstream scene, and new metal was no longer really the mainstream. And you go listen to any or go watch any high school or young adult whatever movie from the mid 2000s, and it's all pop punky stuff, and go watch one from the 90s early. It's all like new metal and heavy music. You can really see when it was popular and when it died out. So that's basically it. A lot of people ended up finding it fucking cringy, and new music genres kind of took it over. So the reason that is coming back. So I still listen to new metal every day. I'm a huge fan, huge junkie. I still talk about it and tell people to listen to it and recommend it all the time to my friends. I'm always sending songs to my friends. New metal is coming back because a lot of people like me who grew up in the early 2000s and the mid 2000s grew up listening to it. And when you turn into a teenager and a young adult, you forget about the shit you used to really listen to and do when you were a kid, and you start listening to what's popular then, and the rap and the pop music that's popular then when you're in high school and college and shit. And when you get older and you're like, well, fucking, I haven't listened to Slipknot or Korn or Cold Chamber in years. Maybe I'll stick that on again, and it comes up becoming all you listen to. And that's kind of what happened with me. So, that's, I'm back to my roots now. I've always loved metal, but, I've gone through phases. In college, I was, listening to nothing but, 90s rap. In high school, I was pretty big into, emo music and pop punk and stuff like that. I was an emo kid. I had long black hair and wore skinny jeans and the whole 9 yards. So yeah, and then and then in college and towards the end of high school, I tried being that whole hipster look was cool, and that was yeah, you know trends of the mid 2010s. Everybody was hopping on the trends. It's just something you do when you're a kid. But same as we were talking about earlier with the new metal stuff. A trend that a lot of young adults and teenagers and uh, obviously adults as well. 30s, 40s, 50s. Obviously, everyone enjoyed it, but it was very popular mostly with the younger crowd, mostly college boys, and obviously a lot of girls love metal as well. But I've noticed if you look at a lot of those concerts, especially Limp Bizkit concerts, a lot of frat boys liked new metal back in the day. So, and another reason it's coming back is obviously, I hate to admit it, but social media is the main reason that new metal is making a comeback. Mainly TikTok. It's making videos of if you like metal, you need to know about this, and this is how Slipknot debuted and blew up, and putting songs on the videos that people make, and so it's making a comeback because it's really getting put out there, and people who have never heard it before are like, oh my god, this is fucking crazy, and it's hearing new ears are hearing it every day, and people are bands that have been around for 30 years are gaining new fans every day due to social media exposure. Social media isn't all bad. I use it a lot, but I don't let it. I don't let it control the way I view the world. I use it as kind of, I'm a shit poster. I like fucking, sending stupid shit to my friends, posting stupid shit on Facebook, so on and so forth. That's about all I use it for. Or, I'll post the occasional picture on Instagram here and there, but I think, that's about what everybody does. I think, you Snapchat your friends here and there, but that's about it. Social media is a very good example of things make comebacks and having things that are great and have been great for many years getting put out there as why new metal is making a comeback. Another great thing that has been around for a long time that some people might have known about, and there's a lot of other bands of that era that are still a lot of people listen today. Not only the bands I talked about, like Breaking Benjamin is a very popular band still. Evanescence, Disturbed, a lot of bands of that era are very much still prevalent and still playing shows and going on tours and the whole 9 yards. So it was a great era, and a lot of older folks are still listening and going to shows. I love to see it, love to hear it. I love to know that all the OGs and new fans are still keeping new metal alive. So I want to thank everybody for sitting through this another not so. I'm trying to keep it as put together as possible. Like I said, I know it might be messy. I know my internet's not the best, and I know my video quality isn't the best. For those of you who are wondering, I'm using an app called Riverside. It's a great app for making podcasts. I'll drop the link in the comments on my YouTube channel, in the comments of the video that I post, or this video that I post here, and go check out, so you guys can click on it if any of you are interested in making a little podcast yourself. Sometimes it takes a while to upload, but that's because it's trying to give you the best audio and video quality that you're not just going to get just recording it on your regular recording app on your phone. So it cancels out other noises, and it gives you the best microphone quality where it tries to resemble an actual microphone for a podcast, not just where you can hear background noises and all that stupid stuff more clearly. So it's very, very good, very nice. And I was very pleased with the way it recorded and the quality of my first video. And if you guys haven't checked that out, please go check that out. Like it, comment on it, and share it with your friends. And please subscribe to my channel, Unqualified Opinions with Michael Slattery. If you're ever just wanting to search my channel, just put with Michael Slattery, Unqualified Opinions with Michael Slattery in the search bar, and my channel specifically will pop up for you guys. I want to thank you, each and every one of you who actually sat through this episode and watched every single minute and second with me, sat through it. Hopefully you guys got a good education on the golden age of nu metal. Again, please comment on what you guys do when you run into an old classmate at the grocery store and make awkward eye contact. I would love to know. I will read off the answers in my next few videos, and I will give a shout out to the people who comment. And please share, subscribe to my channel, give me more ideas for content, or I will just keep annoying my friends for their opinions and their outputs and their content to send me to show you guys, so I have more things to entertain you guys with, because it's not always easy doing a podcast just solo, you know. I really like for some friends of mine to come do some episodes with me. I think it'd be really fun, have a lot of laughs, and it would be a lot more entertaining for my audience that I am trying to build. So I hope you all have a magnificent rest of your night or day or whatever time you guys happen to be watching this. I am Michael Slattery, and this has been the second official episode of Unqualified Opinions. Thank you very much for watching.